Welcome back to Headlines and Heartlines. I'm Vanessa Brazier, owner and publisher of Bluebonnet News of Texas. Today, I am continuing our series of conversations with candidates seeking public office, giving voters the opportunity to hear directly from those who wish to serve. Judicial races are often some of the most important and least understood races on the ballot. Judges make decisions every day that impact families, victims, defendants, and entire communities. Joining me today is James J.D. Chandler, the Republican candidate for the 75th State District Court. J.D., thank you for taking time to be with me today.
Thank you, ma'am. Enjoy being here.
You want to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and what led you to seek the position of judge for the 75th State District Court?
Yes, ma'am. Grew up in Liberty. Grew up in South Liberty Oilfield, actually. Moved to Hardin my junior year of high school. That's where I met my wife of 25 years.
And her name?
Ramona Chandler.
Okay.
She was a Batson girl. Went to San Jacinto College to start. Got an associate's there. Went to work in the plants. While I was working at the plants, got a degree in criminal justice. I was a welding inspector at Exxon. Dad was a rig welder, so grew up in the oil field. I left Exxon as a contract welding inspector to go to law school. Went to law school at South Texas College of Law in downtown Houston, got a degree. Worked in the Galleria, I think 2 years as a clerk / paralegal, then 3 years as an attorney. Then I came home after that and started my own practice in town.
And how long has it been?
I think it's been 14 or 15 years that I've been back in Liberty.
What types of cases do you normally represent?
Well, now we have a firm, so there's 3 attorneys in the practice group, Josh Fitzgerald, Emily Cook, and I. Prior to that, I had a background in admiralty and maritime insurance defense, so I did a lot of transactional work. Once I got back to Liberty, I brought a few corporate clients with me. However, in order to pay the bills, I started doing family law, personal injury, criminal work, and then also wills, trusts, and estate stuff, probate matters, guardianships, things like that.
Oh,
so now,
a variety of stuff.
Yeah, we do a lot of variety because I found that if you do have transactional clients, they always need their sister, their brother, someone in their family needs something, so you have to get diverse so that you can meet all their needs. Also, I'm a pretty high energy guy, so learning new stuff is kind of fun to me.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to get stuck in one niche and get bored with it.
Could you explain the types of cases that are typically heard in the 75th State District Court?
Generally, in the 75th District Court, it's going to be civil matters above a certain jurisdictional limit, and then also felony criminal cases. People don't understand it's a huge mix of both. Everyone assumes that the district courts are just for felonies. However, they also handle a lot of civil matters as well. Now, with the current county court of law system we have, some of those things get kicked down to the county courts from the district courts so they can help out with caseload because there are so many cases in the 2 district courts.
Yeah. And we have one that's split among 2 counties, which, that I'm sure that makes it a little more challenging too. We don't have 2 dedicated courts.
That's right. And I think the census in the county is just above 90,000 allegedly, but we all know that there's a huge population of people that aren't on the census.
Undocumented.
And so we also have to cater to those people as well. So you have one full-time district court and a part-time district court. And I think the last numbers I heard was about 170,000 people in the county.
That's wild.
And so
with 2 district court, or 1.5.
1.5 district courts. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So what led you to pursue this position rather than continue in your current legal role?
Well, I've been sitting here practicing law for a long time. I have multiple entities. So finances haven't really been an issue. And I have 4 children. And my oldest daughter just got engaged. And so I'm anticipating that there'll be some grandkids coming before too long. And I know the way it's going in our county at this point. If I just sit in my office and do nothing, then my kids or my grandchildren may not want to live in Liberty County if we don't stand up and do something different. And so my 2 oldest, the 2 grown children of mine, the one at A&M and the adult child that's an English teacher, they're like, Dad, there's an open seat and we know that you'll do a good job. You need to do this.
So your kids encouraged you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, how would you describe your judicial philosophy?
Well, here's the thing. I grew up in a $500 trailer house in South Liberty Oilfield. I feel like had I been judged in a court anywhere in our area as a kid versus how my children would be judged today in the same courts, I don't feel like the shake would have been the same. I feel like with a lot of places you go, socioeconomic status, personal affluence, things like that matter. The problem is that you shouldn't. If you're from South Liberty Oilfield, if you're from the country club, your socioeconomic status, your familial background, things like that shouldn't matter. What should happen is you should be judged according to the rules and according to the law. And so I think judicial philosophy goes to that. Like, it has to be the same across the board. It
So
shouldn't
that gets
matter.
into the fairness and impartiality. So what does that mean to you to be fair and impartial from the bench?
It has to be the same. If
Everybody gets treated the same.
If we're going to give someone a certain sentence for possession of a controlled substance, it has to be equal across the board. Like, if one guy gets 5 years TDC, then everybody gets 5 years TDC. Whereas you see in some courts, it depends, and it shouldn't depend. The only way the system operates is fair and impartial. It has to be the same.
Unless they're extenuating circumstances.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Correct.
Repeat offenders and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, how do you balance applying the law as written with considering the individual circumstances of each case?
Well, I don't think as a judge it's our job. I think our job is, and they actually taught us that in law school. The biggest thing about being in law school is they have to teach you how nothing you've ever learned applies. They give you one set of facts and one rule, and you have to apply that to each other. As a judge, we have to take all of our personal knowledge, feelings, and things out of the picture, and we have to take one set of rules and apply it to one set of facts. And then we sentence or we rule based on that rule. And I think that's how you get to fair and impartial.
So how do you approach cases where the law is clear but the outcome may be difficult for one or more parties?
I think if it's fair and impartial and it's always equal across the board, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, as a judge, it's not your fault the case is before you.
Yeah.
The case is before you.
Yeah.
Whatever the rules say, that's the only way the system operates. The system we know and love in the United States is so good because it's clearly defined. And if it's not clearly defined, we take it to a higher level like the Supreme Court, and they give us guidance as to, okay, this is the way we're headed. This is what we're doing.
Okay, so we talked about consistency in sentencing. Before the interview, you spoke about cases where you'd seen one defendant get an 80-year sentence for something or a life sentence for something. And so how important is that consistency in the sentencing to you?
Well, I think it does two things. So we always talk about judicial economy and our ability to move cases.
Yeah.
We previously spoke about where our system is set up for 90,000 citizens, and we have double that in the county.
Yeah.
Well, as a judge, if everyone understands what you're going to do and how you're going to rule, then it helps everyone when it comes to the process to try to eliminate cases. If they know what the sentence is going to be if they take it to trial and lose, then that helps the prosecutor's office and the defense attorneys discuss negotiations to move cases, to settle cases, to get to plea deals, because they know if we walk in front of this judge and you're found guilty, you're going to get 25 years. Because this judge is so consistent with that ruling on this particular matter.
They know what to expect.
They know what to expect. So then the district attorney's office and defense attorneys are going to go sit at the table and go, okay, here's what the judge is going to do. This is what we're willing to do to move the case. And it helps expedite the process.
What you're going to do.
Absolutely.
So judges are expected to uphold high ethical standards. How do you approach judicial ethics and maintaining public trust?
Well, I think the fair and impartiality of it. Also, I think your personal life matters. Like, if you don't have it together at home, then how are people going to trust that you have it together on the bench? Your perception of the people is really based off of you personally. It don't have anything to do with your rulings, because a lot of the lay people or citizens of the county don't see the rulings in the courtroom. They only see you outside of the courtroom.
What does accountability look like for a judge who's elected by the public?
It has to be open. Everyone should know.
Yeah.
They have to have the ability to talk to you. They have to have the ability to question you. They have to have the ability to know what the rulings are. And I think that's where you guys come in. I've noticed recently that, news outlets like you guys and the Vindicator have been giving us kind of an insight into what type of cases they are, what the rulings were, how the judge ruled. Mm-hmm. Whereas before, a lot of people don't know the inner workings of the courthouse. Yeah. So I think if they get some insight into the courthouse, then they'll understand the shortcomings, but then they'll also understand, oh, okay, so this is what we're doing. This is the trend. This is how these cases are going. So I think you guys play an important role in that too, because y'all are a direct line into the community, because the courthouse is so busy doing their job, they can't report to the community. And
they may not have a concept of what the public perceives is going on. Or you do, but you just don't have time to, you may not be able to address it.
Yeah, when you're handling multiple dockets of 200 to 400 people multiple times a week, in the morning and in the afternoons, there's not a lot of time to particularize about one particular case. Yeah. Whereas the media plays an important role, because the jury trial ends, the sentencing comes, you guys can explain to the community, here's what we saw, here's what happened.
So what does transparency look like, or what would it look like in your courtroom setting if you were elected?
It would be equal across the board. Everyone would know that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your socioeconomic status or your background. It's going to be the same. If you
no bias.
There's no bias. If you walk into this courtroom, it's going to be the same.
Okay. So how important do you think it is for a judge to be engaged in the community they serve?
I think it's super important. You shouldn't be a recluse. People should know who you are. People should know information about your court and the trends, because it helps to put a gauge and a pulse on the community, because then they know, is crime trending up? And if it is, what are we doing to combat that? What is the sheriff's office doing? What is the PD's doing? What are the prosecutor's offices doing? How are the judges' rulings affecting it? And what ways are we altering the behavior that we know is bad behavior in the community?
How would you work to ensure that all parties that come before your court would be heard or feel that they're heard?
Well, it's in a lot of courts we have these days, when we attorneys get to the time of a hearing or the time of trial, if we don't request time from the court to go confer, then we've already conferred. We've already reached the point that it's time to go hear it. Let's hear it. In a lot of courts these days, we get sent to the back room to try to negotiate things that are non-negotiable. Now I understand clarifying issues for the judge or the court, or like Judge Moorfield used to do, limiting time. Yeah. Judge Moorfield actually had a clock that he would use, and it was like a chess clock, and he would put you on the clock, and depending on what type of hearing...
And he wanted it resolved.
Depending on what type of hearing you had, each side got a certain amount of time, and when your time was up, he clicked it to the next side, and it was... And so that helps you narrow the issues down. We all know us attorneys like to talk.
Yeah.
And so if you get us in a trial or in a hearing and you don't limit us, we'll talk for the next 2 weeks.
That's funny. So, because we were delayed in starting the interview because we got in such a conversation.
Correct.
So what steps can a judge take to improve efficiency in the court, or what steps would you take to improve efficiency in the court system without sacrificing justice?
Well, I think that goes back to what we were talking about. I think if you become efficient and effective with your rulings, and they're consistent, and they're consistent every single day, and you give defense attorneys, prosecutors' offices, and even on the civil side, if they know and understand how you work, how you operate, and what you require, it's going to become more efficient. It's going to become more effective. It's like you go in the docket sheets in our county at this time, and there's cases that are thousands of days old.
Yeah.
And it's like, I went to Judge McDonald's court the other day in Chambers County, and he was discussing a case in front of me before I went on, and the case was 366 days old, and he said, it's over a year, put it on trial docket. He didn't care what opposing counsel's arguments were, if they were ready or not. He looked to the clerk and said, put it on the trial docket.
Because the people are entitled to a speedy trial and not just languish in jail or on bail or bond.
Well, that's correct.
You know.
And we defense attorneys know the longer we can stretch it out, the more likely that the witnesses disappear, evidence disappears.
Yeah.
We know if we can keep putting it out,
It might be best for your client.
it's going to be easier for my client to win the case.
Yeah.
So it's the judges in the court's responsibility to force our hand.
Mm-hmm.
Is to force the DA's office hand to prepare the cases. Is to force the defense counsel's hands to not stretch the case out forever. And it's to move dockets. I think, I don't even know the exact numbers, but someone gave me some numbers the other day. The out of county, they were saying, was $150 a day to house an inmate.
Oh, yeah. We're spending a tremendous amount of money there.
In county was $85 or $90 a day to house inmates. Then you see that we're building a jail for 600 beds. Well, I think the last jail we built was 500 beds, and the day we opened that jail was full. So,
Well, but they do have plans. They're going to build the infrastructure to where they can add on to the jail. So
great.
that was the plan.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because the thing is it already costs enough to house them in county.
Mm-hmm.
That should incentivize us in the courts to move cases. Like, if they don't need to be in jail, they shouldn't be in jail. And the thing is bail, there's a lot of issues and a lot of conversations regarding bail amounts and what's reasonable and unreasonable and how you get to that. You know, there's all types of conversations we could have about the reasons for excessive bail, recidivism, and while they're out on bond, committing more crimes and things like that.
And that happens.
Absolutely happens. And so there's a fine line for judges to make the right decision. And so it's a hard task for the judges to do, but also at some point economics come into play. Like, we can't keep filling jails up with inmates that shouldn't be in jail.
Right.
We need inmates
Who might be a danger to the population.
that are a danger to the population or a danger to themselves to be taken care of. But if you have a job, you are gainfully employed, you meet certain requirements,
Yeah.
you should be working.
Yeah.
And then you handle your case along the way.
Yeah.
So there's a thin line there, but there's a lot of money that's spent on things, on people that shouldn't be incarcerated.
Liberty County spends a lot of money. And then it's making it difficult, like right now, housing these inmates in other counties, it's making it difficult for y'all to even visit with your clients as criminal defense attorneys.
Yeah, and I had a criminal defense client in Jefferson County.
Well, that's not even that far away. There's some that are further.
Yeah. It wasn't a Liberty County case, it was a Jefferson County case. However, I couldn't go meet with the client because I couldn't get on the list to go meet with the client. They wouldn't let me in. And then...
What do you mean they wouldn't let you on the list?
Well, it was like I kept trying to go in, and they kept having reasons why I couldn't come in. The jail did. And so I'm like, okay, can I get on a call with my client? Because there was a plea deal on the table. He was going to take the plea deal.
You have to talk to your client.
Right. So it took me 3 weeks before I finally got on the phone with my client. And then once we went back to the next setting, the case was done. He signed for whatever he signed for. But it took a voluminous amount of time to get to my client to get it signed, and then he could move from Jefferson County to TDC.
But everything that is a delay in that way also means more money that you have to bill to the county because you are attempting to resolve a case and making contact and doing legal work. They're dragging it out and costing the county more money.
And it's also more money that the inmate is costing because it's a jail cost and
Right.
not a TDC cost.
And medical costs, everything. Yeah.
Exactly. And so a lot of people don't understand how the system operates and how the money flows. But when you really start looking into it, we're not very efficient or effective. And I would say we're not bad at doing our job when it comes to court,
Yeah.
but we're not very good at the things surrounding it.
Well, what would you do as a judge to resolve that?
I think like Judge McDonald, you said a specific amount of time.
You would follow that lead.
You force the district attorney's hand to have the case prepared and ready. You force the defense counsel's hand to know that if we hit day 365, you're going to trial docket.
There's no resetting.
We're done with resets.
Yeah.
You got to reset it up to this point. And I don't know I haven't been in the courtroom every day to understand what that date is.
Yeah.
But an unlimited amount of time to hear the case is unacceptable.
Yeah, I think we have some cases that are like older than that. I mean, much older than the case you cited.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, it's amazing to me when you go on a docket sheet because there's hundreds of people on the docket sheets. And you just go through on the docket sheet and you're looking at it and it gives you how many days old the case is. Mm-hmm. And if you just don't even look at names and you just go and look at the days, it's voluminous amount of time. And me, I'm looking at those cases because every day we go in the courtroom.
Yeah.
You have the orange suits in the jury box. So how many of those people in the jury box are incarcerated and how many days are tied to those guys at the dollar amount per day?
Yeah.
Because we're not moving the case.
So when you look at it, you can almost see dollar signs instead of
100%.
Yeah.
And we all know the money's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it comes from us as a citizenry paying taxes.
Yeah.
And when you have an overabundance of people that are not on the census, we're not getting the tax base for the amount of inmates and the amount of cases. So it's our job to be way, way more efficient to get these cases moving.
Yeah. So what personal qualities do you believe are most important for someone to serve as a judge? And do you believe you have them?
I think integrity. You have to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
That's number one.
We all love Judge Moorfield because no matter who you were or what happened, when he donned the robe and walked through the back door of the courtroom, he climbed on the bench, it was the same. He did it according to the rules and according to the law. Nothing else mattered.
Yeah. Didn't matter what he felt or whatever the law said.
If you were his best friend or his sworn enemy, when he donned the robe and climbed on the bench, that was irrelevant.
Yeah.
He did the job because it was the job to do. I think our system is spectacular on paper, and I think the reason our system fails at times is because we don't do the job because it's the job. We let other personal things come in, whether it's politics or friends or alliances or things like that. We let that come into play, and so you don't get equality across the board. And because you don't get equality across the board, then no one knows the outcome.
And then it appears if there's no system of fairness.
Right. And then you also can't get you can't get any cases moving because one time it's this, the next time it's that.
Yeah.
One time it's this.
Yeah.
There's no consistency in the court.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a problem. So what has been the most challenging part of running for this judicial role?
Selling myself.
You're not good at putting yourself out there?
I can sell everybody else. I can sell my staff. I can sell my children. I can sell you as a journalist. Mm-hmm. The most difficult thing to me personally has been
out there.
To sell myself.
Yeah.
I never thought that would be a problem until I've knocked on people's doors and shook their hand, and then I had to sell me.
That is a little weird, isn't it? I'm not sure I would be able to do that either. I'm usually better behind the scenes. So what motivates you to pursue this role?
My children and grandchildren.
You want things to be good for them?
Absolutely.
Future grandkids.
Future grandkids, correct.
Yeah.
And I think that if we don't, then who will?
Right.
The people that have the ability to, whether I win or not.
Yeah.
The people who have the ability to should.
Yeah.
And it should be done because it's the thing to do.
Yeah.
My kids will only have the ability to say that my dad tried.
Yeah.
They won't have the ability to complain and say, well, Dad, you had the ability to make a difference. Why didn't you?
What separates you from the other people running for office for this seat? What is the key difference between you guys?
I think background. I wasn't from the affluent, grew up in a crazy environment, rough childhood. Also had a job and a career before an attorney. I worked in the oil field, then I became an inspector, a welding inspector, had a job as a contract welding inspector at Exxon, made a bunch of money. So I think my lifelong dream was not being an attorney because I never thought that it was attainable because of upbringing. And then once I realized that how simple college was, because it's just determination. Then it became...
that is not his cell phone. That's his office phone. We turned off cell phones.
it became way more... I think I have more clarity because I've already done a lot of different things. And so with this was a choice. It wasn't something I was born into or something that I always had aspired to do.
Yeah. So before voters go to the polls in March 2026, what do you want them to know about you to carry into the polls with them to make a decision? What do you want them to remember?
I think they should know that I'm always available. I'm always there for a conversation. That I'm probably, to my own detriment, bluntly honest. That if it's wrong, I'm going to say it's wrong. And if you don't like me because of it, okay.
Yeah.
Because I think if we had more of that, then we'd have more clarity and everybody would know where they stood.
Who's been your biggest mentor in law?
Susan No would probably be one.
Who's that?
Susan No is a female attorney that I worked for at the Albertine Maritime firm.
Yeah.
She taught me how to practice federal law in the maritime world. So my first 3 years of practicing law, she probably kept my bar card from doing something. We all think, everyone thinks that we go to law school and we come out being a practicing attorney. No, we have no clue what we're doing.
Yeah, it takes a while to get up to speed.
We're completely lost. And so she would keep me from losing my bar card by doing dumb things and kind of guide me and mold me into a good attorney. And then you had Alan Folger. Alan Folger was the Judge Moorfield of Admiralty and Maritime Law. And so Alan...
Is he not with us anymore?
No, he's not with us anymore. He passed last year.
Oh.
But he was who, no matter what it was, up until he passed, if I had an issue or I needed guidance, I would pick the phone up and call Alan, and he'd be like, all right, just settle down. Let me help you. And so I would send him briefs and I would send him things to let him look at. He would make edits. He would kind of chastise me sometimes for the way we'd do things or what I wasn't doing correctly. But it never failed. If I called, he would pick the phone up. And he was a spectacular person.
Are there any cases that have just kind of stayed with you through the years?
Well, the scariest case I ever had, I was 2 years out of law school, and they walk in and hand me a $750 million lawsuit that we're going to defend, and they tell me it's mine. And it was a Clean Water Act violation. It was an EPA violation in the East Bay. And so here I am, new practicing attorney. All I've been doing is motions and answering discovery. And my first case is a $750 million lawsuit that was accruing a $10,000 penalty a day. And they're like, oh, hey, by the way.
$10,000 a day?
It was a $10,000 a day violation.
Jeez.
And so I, in a few months, I drafted an elaborate motion for summary judgment and poured the case out on summary judgment. So we won the case. But it was a heart attack moment. And so I just remember the panic. You're just over here doing your...
So everything else seems easy after that, right?
Yes, because how do you deal with a $750 million case? Like, we're making pennies, and they hand you this case as your first actual case that is assigned directly to you. You're not supporting. Yeah, you're not supporting a case.
Yeah.
They hand you that case. Yeah. So then after that, it's like, oh, anything else.
Anything's possible now.
Anything else is fine.
Well, so we wrap up every one of these headlines and heartlines with fun questions. So this is an opportunity for people to get to know you a little bit better just by hearing your brief answer. You can spend as little or as much time as you want, but just tell me what the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Early mornings or late nights?
Both. I don't require a lot of sleep.
You're like Trump?
I generally go to bed around 11 or 12, and I wake up at 5:30 or 5:45.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. High energy people, I guess.
Well, I think
and then they wonder why you get everything accomplished.
I think it was undiagnosed ADHD.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Gosh. I hope I don't have that.
You probably do.
I probably do. Yeah.
I think we just we were at the cusp of the diagnosis, and so our
Yeah.
parents left us unmedicated. So we channeled it as the energy maker.
I just thought it was always just being the middle child. I always
Right.
tease my parents about being the middle child. Paper files or digital files?
Digital.
Why?
Paper is too voluminous. It's too
Yeah.
hard to track and go back to.
It can be lost.
All of us attorneys know that we've all had it before. We just have to go review it.
Yeah.
In a paper file, you have to dig for days.
Yeah.
And if it's electronic,
You can put a keyword in.
We can keyword it,
Yeah.
go find it. Or if a client needs something,
Yeah.
we can always go into the system, pull it back out.
Assuming that the system stays up and running.
Assuming that you have backed it up.
Yeah. That would be the nightmare if it went down. Bench trial or jury trial, and why?
Depends on the case.
Okay.
If it takes the knowledge and expertise of an attorney, then you should go to the bench. Because it's hard for us to explain very, very intricate legal matters with the amount of time that we have and with the witnesses we put on.
Okay.
So it takes a lot more time to explain intricate legal matters to a jury because you have to take it through every step than it would a judge. Whereas in a criminal case, per se, it should be the people. It should be a jury trial.
Okay. Do you like strict deadlines or flexible schedules?
I think if everyone understands the day, when it's due, when it's final, then you get it done. If we allow it to be more flexible, then everybody's going to procrastinate.
Yeah.
We have to put a deadline on it. If you put a deadline on it, the procrastinators are going to get it done, the pre-planners are going to get it done, all the things that need to be taken care of will be taken care of. You have to force people's hands.
Do you prefer listening or questioning?
Listening, you learn more.
Okay.
You can't learn. My dad used to say it.
I like both.
You can't give when you're receiving, or you
That's
can't
true.
receive when you're giving. If you'll close your mouth, you're going to learn something.
Yeah.
If you're talking, you need to be teaching something.
Okay. Prepared notes or thinking on your feet?
I'm no good with notes.
So you like to think on your feet?
The pressure.
Yeah.
The pressure gives you clarity. The pressure makes you sharper.
Some people don't understand that, though, because I deal well with pressure. I do. I function really well under high pressure. I may fall apart later, but I function well at that moment under pressure.
And I think it's also a societal thing.
Yeah.
You know, my childhood was chaos.
Yeah.
And so I operate with clarity and chaos because that's what you come to know.
Yeah.
And so the crazier it gets,
The
the
calm
more
you get.
chaotic, the easier it is to deal with
Yeah.
because you're relaxed in the storm. It's like the
Not that you're seeking that, though.
No.
But
it's like the center of a hurricane.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's easier to see out of it than see into it.
Right.
Where, you know, and so,
That's a good way of putting it.
right.
Yeah. Calm deliberation or quick decisions?
Just depends.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a definitive action, clear defined action. Sometimes you need calculated thought. It's like me personally, I need time. It's like I have 4 children.
Yeah.
Sometimes the way we handle things as parents, I need a minute. Feed me the information. I'm not going to respond. I'm going to think about it, and then I'm going to give you the solution. And then sometimes it's just a clear defined no or yes.
Aside from your family and children, what are you most proud of in life?
That's a tough question.
I stumped him.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you most proud of?
I would say my children.
Besides your family, besides your wife and your children, what are you most proud of? What or do you
I guess myself.
of
Just
surviving?
yeah,
Yeah.
overcoming.
Yeah. Overcoming. Yeah.
Breaking generational curses. Giving my children the ability to be whatever they want to be,
Yeah.
and leaving them no excuses.
That's
Yeah,
good.
people don't understand. My inspiration for law school was not to go to law school. My inspiration for law school was to ensure that my kids could never give me an excuse as to why they couldn't.
Yeah. Sounds like your kids have inspired you even before they got here.
100%.
Yeah. No, I get it completely. Well, JD, thank you for joining me today and sharing your perspective for our listeners. To our audience, thank you for tuning in to Headlines and Heartlines. I encourage you to learn about the candidates on the ballot so that you can make informed decisions next March 2026. The primary election date is March 3rd, and it is likely, right, that we will have a runoff election.
It's likely.
Yeah, it's likely because there are 4 candidates in this race. Be sure to follow Bluebonnet News and keep up with the latest news in the community. I'm Vanessa Brazier, and until next time.